Hello everyone, my name is Angelica and welcome to my channel. Today I'm coming to you with three new clay projects. This time I will mix two different kinds of clay. For two of my projects I will be using baking polymer clay, and for one of them I will be using air dry clay. I believe all these projects can be made by using any kind of clay. I simply chose that specific kind for each project as I thought the result would just look much better. And if you are new to air dry clay, I also created a video where I shared 10 tips and tricks on how to work with this product, so I recommend to check it out before you start working on anything. And also one of today's projects is actually inspired by the photo which one of you sent to me and asked to recreate it. So if there is anything you want to see me doing on this channel, simply message me on Instagram or on my email. I will leave all the details down below. And for now, without any further ado, let's get right into the first project. To create my bowl, I will be using air dry clay. Like always, I've placed greaseproof paper on my surface and I start kneading the clay between my hands. I take quite big piece of it and roll it out flat. At first I was going to use polymer clay, but then I realized I will need a lot of this clay for this project and air dry clay is just much cheaper. I make sure to roll it out to the same thickness. To create the unique texture and pattern on the clay, I'm using some kind of hemp cloth. Texture of this fabric is very rough, which leaves a really nice imprint on the clay. I simply place it flat on the top of the clay and then go with my rolling pin over it. I take sharp knife and cut out irregular circles, more of the oval shape. I don't really worry about the exact shape or size. To smooth the edges of each circle, I'm using my fingers, which I dip in the water and then go around each shape. Water works really well with air dry clay when you want to fix something, connect or smooth it out. Pick up bowl which size you want to recreate and cover it with cleaning film. It will help removing your clay ball once it's dry. I start from the bottom part of the bowl and then go gradually to the sides and down. I take one round piece at a time and I start covering the bowl. I place individual pieces on top of each other, making sure there isn't any gap. I tap them slightly to connect two pieces together, being careful to not lose the texture on each piece. And I also use water, which in small amount works almost like a glue. To make this clay bowl even more outstanding, I made its edges quite irregular. Each side has almost different height. I press them all together slightly and leave it till fully dry, which usually takes 48 hours. Clay is dry and everything stays together nicely. I was worrying at first if the pieces won't start falling apart, but everything is strong and holds the bowl shape. I'm keeping the off-white color of the clay and only paint some brown details on it. I take again a piece of the same fabric, place it on the clay and paint over it. Paint goes only through the gaps in the fabric, leaving this unique and not perfect pattern. Then using the same color, I paint all the visible edges of the bowl. To protect it and give it more shiny look, I apply Mod Podge on the inside and outside of the bowl. This is the project inspired by this photo which lovely Daphne sent to me. Thank you for your idea and support. I was looking for glass vase which is round and straight, and then I found this storage container which is perfect. It's slightly shorter than spaghetti jar. For this project, I've decided to use polymer clay. I take small piece at a time and roll it out flat to the same thickness. Polymer clay is much harder than air dry clay, so it takes a bit longer to make it flat. You can easily use air dry clay for this project and it will work as good. I take my round cutter and create one big circle. I measure its center and then cut it in half. To smooth any imperfection or uneven edges with polymer clay, you have to just tap and rub it slightly. Water won't help in this case. Altogether, I've created 6 circles which I divided in half. You can see that I've used different color of clay. First of all, I will spray paint it anyway. Secondly, the white clay I was using was Fimo Professional, which is much harder than the soft version. I found hard to work with it, so I swapped it for the other one. I placed them flat on the baking tray and baked them for 30 minutes at 110 Celsius degrees. After baking and cooling down, it was time to attach them to the vase. But before that, I've decided to sand down the straight side of each piece. It will just make it nice, even and easier to glue to the glass. To attach the clay pieces to the glass, I'm using super glue. I spread it along the straight side and then move it onto the jar. Hold it for a few seconds, making sure the glue starts working. At first, I glue 4 pieces at the same height and the same distance between each other. Then I glue 2 pieces slightly lower than the previous ones and I repeat it all around the vase. I gave it 2 coats of white spray paint. You can always just use paint and brush, but because of the sticking out parts, I thought spray will be better and quicker choice. To create the splash paint effect, I'm using brown paint and a wooden stick with pointy end. In here, you can also use toothbrush and create the real splash effect. I simply create irregular dots around the vase. For my next project, I've decided to decorate this 1 pound round mirror. It's actually not the first time when I use this mirror. It's such a basic mirror and so many ideas what you can do with it. I will leave the links to the other projects down below. I start with drawing exactly the same round shape on baking paper. And for this project, I'm again using polymer clay. I start rolling it to get really long and thin piece. Then I take this piece and move it onto the baking paper and follow the round shape I've drawn before. Ideally, you would make long enough piece to create the whole circle, but if you don't, that's not a problem, just make another one, same thickness, and attach it to the other ends. As a part of the mirror decoration, I'm making small cuts on the inside part of the circle. I take even thinner and long piece of clay and start creating 3 branch shapes inside the circle. To connect two separate parts together, I tap them or roll slightly. I continue the design by adding few smaller pieces which represent smaller branches and leaves. And in this position, I move it onto baking tray. I make sure all parts are sticking together. I only want my circle to be separate part and the branch separate. After baking and cooling down, I've took it outside and gave it good coat of gold paint. To attach it to the front of my mirror, I will be again using super glue. I start with the round frame. If you are going to use super glue as well, try to be careful when applying it. You don't want to put too much of it and make glue stains on the mirror. I love how all of the projects came out. I always have so much fun working with the clay, even if the clay doesn't want to work with me. I've created plenty of clay decorations on this channel already, so I put them all together for you in one playlist. So if you're looking for more inspiration, make sure to check it out. Let me know in the comment section which project was your favorite, and if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to give it a thumb up and subscribe to my channel for more DIY projects. And for now, thank you so much for watching, your support, and I will see you in my next video.